Hello, viewers, listeners, and my cherished subscribers. The topic I bring you today is about Fulanis. The way at which some of us handle dispute is very appalling. Let's take a look at this. Most people have the misconceptions that Fulani people are uncivilized, uneducated, and backward people. I, Empire, object to that. This is because in contemporary time, number of them have been enrolled in schools up to tertiary and higher levels. Classical example is Semira Baumia, former Second Lady of the Republic of Ghana. Prior to 20th century, they embraced Islam, which taught and encouraged them to learn. For this reason, they had literates among them, which included scholars, teachers, and Islamic adjudicators. It is only obvious and true to say some of them are still nomadic, wandering with their families and cattle for shelter, greener pastures, and for their livestock to graze. The Fulanis are one of West Africa's most historically significant and culturally rich people, with heritage that lasts centuries and geographic spread across almost every country in the Sahel and beyond. They are believed to have originated from Senegambia many years ago and gradually migrated into Mali, Niger, Nigeria, Chad, Cameroon, Ghana, and Sudan. They speak Fulfulde as language. Through decades of migration, normally influenced by cattle herding and trade, they became one of the most widely spread ethnic groups in Africa. Historically, Fulani are known to be nomadic pastoralists, wandering with cattle in search of pastures. Over time, others became sedentary farmers, traders, and urban dwellers. They have cultural code called Pulaku, which serves as framework emphasizing dignity, modesty, patience, courage, kindness, and discipline. Also, they are known for their creative hairstyles, henna for facial and body tattoos, jewel making, and storytelling tradition. Music and oral poetry are central to their identity. Growing up as a child, it was common for me to see the women and teenagers braiding each other's hair, selling milk of which their husbands extract from the cattle, preparing cottage cheese out of their preservation skills for consumption and sales. Now tell me, with or without formal education, if these values and attributes are that of uncivilized, unenlightened, and backward people. Dress code for women are free wear with scarves, while men wear loose and flowing attires. Fulani have been misunderstood. They face many stereotypes, backlashes, and underrated. The only clear ongoing thing about them, excuse me, the only clear ongoing thing about them is cattle herding. That's moving their livestock around town, streets, settlement, and farms in search of pasture for cattle to graze. This often lands in trouble with farmers in particular. For instance, over some months back, almost every week you hear or come across publications that Fulani has been killed. Dead bodies discovered to be Fulani found with multiple stabs. This went on and on until they started losing huge number of cattle, about 500 and more a day. Investigation was carried out only to find out that some of the farmers sprayed their crops with chemical that made all livestock that graze on it to die. According to the farmers, they were fed up with losing crops to the cattle and have already warned the Fulanis. That's why such actions were taken. I feel their pain. But all of this could have been avoided if all Fulani keep their cattle at a secure place, feed and care for those but by cutting or buying grass, providing other feeds and including veterinary services. Era is changing and so should they evolve with ways of animal husbandry. This will preserve and prolong lives of both livestock and herdsmen. To the farmers and all affected residents and victims, you could have used better alternative approach to resolve this problem rather than resorting to the method that incurred losses to both parties. For instance, after expressing your displeasure and issuing several warnings to Fulani, which is good approach, the next was to lodge complaint or report to community chiefs, queens, and heads to send notice to all livestock owners, stating your actions to take for failing to comply. This can be any livestock found grazing on your crops will automatically become yours. And I doubt if they will want to lose any of their livestock. You can involve the police or sue them if issue is escalating. Regardless of all the misconceptions, their contribution towards growth and development cannot be overemphasized. The following are some of them. Religious contribution. The Fulani were among the first West Africans to embrace and adopt Islam. Many, including Uthman Danfodio, became renowned Islamic scholars, malams, and judges. They built mosques and religious centers in Wa, Tamale, and Boku. That's for those who settle in Ghana. They also built mosques and religious centers elsewhere they settled to teach and propagate Islam. This contributed to the wide and fast spread of Islam. Religion came as a guide and to shape behavior of mankind. Fulani did justice by teaching others the proper way of life and for spiritual upliftment. Economic significance. Fulani herders and cattle owners supply whole live cattle, meat, milk, cottage cheese to local markets and across borders which support food security in the country. Besides, livestock and dairy products are central parts of Ghana's rural economy. Leather is also obtained as outcome of their traditional occupation and it is used in making bags, belts, shoes, some parts of watch and other fashionable ornaments. Cultural significance. Their rich oral tradition of storytelling, music, and Pulaku values unite and harmonize people in the community and nation as a whole. Their cross-cultural marriages bring families together, leading to cultural preservation. The skin from the livestock is used for installation of kings, chiefs, and sub-authority and has its significance and cultural impact. Educational impact. While nomadic and agrarian lifestyle is still keen in tradition to some, most Fulani families in Ghana and elsewhere prioritize formal and secular education. Hence, they have literate communities, teachers, politicians, businessmen or women, and other professionals. A typical example is Semira Baumia, who represent the Fulani fraternity at national levels. Historically, Fulani have been kings, traders, warriors, theologians, and diplomats. The stereotypes are formed by overlooking their political and intellectual contribution to African history, ignoring urban and educated Fulani and viewing pastoral life as primitive rather than specialized. Many Fulani still uphold nomadic culture, which outsiders might mistakenly label as backward. Their heritage is one of scholarship, adaptability, and cross-culture influence. Sitting here imagining life without Fulani, Zabarma, Butchers, and Aboki. How would I have quick access to kebab? My favorite wagashi, that's coated cheese, cow milk. And how would you, yes, I mean you, also order for ready meat for all occasions and drink at parties for your meat lovers and consumers?